What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. We have the second Hydra rotation out. In today's video, I'm gonna teach you how to slay the beast and get the best results. So if we're going all the way to the Hydra clan boss right here, in the previous rotation we had two very tanky heads in it. We had the Head of Suffering and the Head of Decay. They are the tankiest out of all four of them. And that kind of made us to use Savage Gear on our damage dealers, on our enemy max HP champions, in order to hit the cap. And we were still not hitting the cap on all of them, okay? This time around, we don't have those heads in the rotation. So that means that we have the squishier heads, and maybe we're gonna be able to build our nukers differently and achieve better results, more damage in a faster time, that making your run slightly easier. So yesterday I actually posted this on the community tab on my YouTube, guys. My clanmate Gravity dealt 48 million damage with a team like this, and it's pretty good because there's no Kymar in the team, okay? He actually ran Relentless on his husks, and I was like, you know what, let me try it on one and see if I'm still hitting the cap damage. I was curious, and I did. And then I changed my Royal Guard on Relentless as well, and bang, I got pretty good damage out of them, and they actually helped me out quite a bit to have them like this. It saved me from different awkward situations where I wasn't able to rescue my champions before when they were getting devoured. Now, a quick thing. This is a very endgame guide, okay? We are fighting the Nightmare Hydra, guys. It's the most endgame content in the entire game. Unfortunately, and it's not our fault as content creators, Plarium only made one Duchess, only made one Krisk, okay? So even if I would want to use different champions, I cannot. I'm sorry. It's just not my fault. Plarium needs to give us more S-tier champions that are capable to run awesome on the Hydra. Krisk can be replaced by a Tuhanarak, another Void Legendary champion, but Duchess, she doesn't really have a replacement, unfortunately. You can change the champions around. You can change Krisk, bring in an attack down champion, change Duchess for a Brockney. Try to keep the team alive like that if you have decent gear, of course. And you will achieve half of the damage. It's still better than nothing, but you won't be getting at this sort of results, unfortunately, guys. And yeah, I know it's frustrating to see Duchess all around, but because it's the most endgame thing, we need the best of the best in order to achieve these results. If not, we're just not gonna be able to get this done, you know? So this is a pretty good damage. If you're actually looking, Umbral Enchantress, she is an amazing champion, okay? The best for block buffs, debuff. She dealt 3 million damage, pretty much the same damage like Krisk, and Krisk has 2 AoE attacks. She only has one and a single target, and I got a bit surprised by it. I haven't even looked at this screenshot to see that she has more damage than Krisk. I only noticed that on my own run when I've done it, and I was like, oh, she actually dealt almost the same amount of damage like Krisk. That is pretty solid, you know? But having a look at my run right here, guys, I actually had my Husk and Royal Guard in Savage before, how I mentioned. You see, the damage is pretty much the same like on Savage. Bang! Almost 3 million damage. We got a weak hit, one with Royal Guard, one with Husk, so that kind of made us lose 500,000 damage. If no, we usually start with 3 million damage, which is pretty good because in the previous rotation with 2 Royal Guards, defense down and weaken, I was not starting with so much damage, and they were on Savage on very good stats. Now they're on Relentless. And Relentless, Reflex. What should I use if you have both available, okay? Reflex is good if you block one of the skills. You might be getting to use the AoE skill more often. With Relentless, for example, one of my champion gets devoured. I have 2 turns to save him, and it's pretty dangerous. I'm about to lose that champion. Well, it's RNG, of course, but Relentless can allow you to get turn after turn after turn and use that AoE skill the next turn as soon as you're getting that extra turn. And that can come in as a bigger clutch. At least in my opinion, you're able to save your champions a bit better like that, because every time you get that extra turn, you get to deal a bit of damage. You know, you get to use a skill and you are dealing some damage. And I feel like that helps out quite a bit. So if we're going a bit more from here, you see damage, extra turn. They are getting extra turns quite a bit. I was actually pretty impressed that they were getting so many extra turns, because usually when I'm running my Doom Priest on a Relentless or a different champion like this for the Doom Tower or anywhere else, they're barely getting any turns. But these ones, they were actually doing a pretty good job. You see, by turn 36, we're already at the half margin of damage that we need to 1 key. Pretty much, almost there. It does happen that if the head of Decay comes out, man, he's annoying. He's kind of like the thing that's gonna mess you up. But only if you have the head of Decay, the head of Mischief, and the head of Blight. If you have all 3 out, just back out. Honestly, back out, because you'll be having issues. If you have only the head of Decay and the head of Blight out, you can actually, RNG of course, control the block buffs on all of the heads to go in before he places the poison cloud or after the other one cleanses. It happened to me. I got to 36.1 million damage. I posted that the other day. I showed you guys. Was pretty annoying because I had to back out, but it's doable. So you can actually control them if you're paying full attention to what you're doing. Unfortunately, these are still not auto teams. Turn 54, 23 million damage. And if we're going towards the end, you see, my turn count is just going higher and higher, and the damage doesn't double. Because sometimes I have to stop from using the skills in dealing damage to calculate, okay, my champion is going to get devoured in 3-4 turns. I want to take him out as soon as possible, so I'm going to save the skills. And all sort of deadly combinations like this. Turn 89, only 30 million damage. I know I was in voice chat with a buddy of mine, and he was watching, and he was like, oh, the turn count is so high, it looks dangerous. I don't think you're going to be able to do it. But because of the Relentless sets and rotating so fast the enemy max HP hits, we actually got to a pretty good amount of damage. If we're looking right here, where are we? 40 million damage around here. So that was not bad at all, actually, guys. Since they're now on Savage, that actually helped me a lot. So definitely consider in changing the builds on your enemy max HP hitters for this rotation. We still have 3 weeks from it. So make the most out of it. Relentless, Reflex, they're both gonna work wonders. They're actually gonna work better than Savage as long as you have the right debuffs on your team, you know. Just trying to get to the total damage here at the end. Just to show you guys the damage on Umbral as well. Okay. So we are at 42.74 million damage. Duchess, she doesn't have Masteries for PvE. She's actually with Masteries for Arena. 320k. Chris with 2.8 million damage. He has War Master. Royal Guard 18.5 and Husk 17.9. Now, I think Husk got quite a few weak hits, and Royal Guard got more extra turns. He got to rotate the skill more often, and he didn't get devoured as much as Husk. If no, Husk would be dealing more damage. Lydia with 600k damage. I just realized that I didn't have War Master on her. And Umbral Enchantress with 2.2 million damage. Almost the same damage as Chris, guys. That is pretty crazy. Now, I'm gonna show you the builds on the champions. Starting with Lydia, guys. I haven't changed much in terms of builds, speeds, and stuff like that on these champions from what I previously had on my team, on my account. This is an actual takeover, so some of the builds might be different, so I'm going to show you just to see. I actually had Lydia on regeneration set on my account, and I still have her like that. I had PvE masteries on mine, but this one, she had PvP masteries only, okay? So that was a bit annoying, because I could have gotten more damage if I was checking that before. But she has 2 speed sets and 1 perception. Total stats 65k HP, 3.1k defense, 268 speed, 440 resistance, 392 accuracy. Now, resistance. You would want to be around 500 resistance. The Head of Mischief will have around a 10% chance to steal your buffs with this amount of resistance. The higher the resistance, the lower the chance, all the way down to 3%, depending on how much resistance you're gonna put on your champions, you know. I usually run resistance on a couple of different champions, because like that, sometimes they will have the same amount of buffs, and the Head of Mischief is gonna target one of these champions with resistance, you know. So that's Lydia, Masteries, Tier 6 we have War Master, and we have Lasting Gifts. We have Master Hexer, Cycle of Magic, just to help us out a bit more with the damage. Going to Duchess, and I think is this one right here. Regeneration set and speed set. She's not as fast as the one I have on my account. Total stats, we actually have 77k HP, 3.6k defense, 281 speed, 488 resistance. You see, she has resistance because we want to make sure she's not going to get messed up either. Masteries, we have Arena Masteries. So no need to change it if you're running your Duchess, if you have only one. We do have 2 refresh accessories. They can come in as a clutch a lot of times, guys. Actually, when you need to revive and you're going to have the revive again, or you need to put block buffs since you're not going to be able to keep the perfect veil on your team all the time consistent enough, and then they'll be taking turns. So this is actually helping quite a bit. Moving over to find that bad boy Krisk. So if we're looking just here, we have an accuracy set, a speed set, and a perception set. Total stats 65k HP, 3.4k defense, 248 speed, 524 resistance, 381 accuracy. So we have enough resistance, enough accuracy. He's only gonna get debuffed if that 3% chance appears out of nowhere. Very good stats in terms of HP and defense. Good amount of speed. Masteries, PvE masteries. We have War Master, Sniper, and Master Hexer just to help with that decreased speed. Moving over to some other champions all the way at the bottom, because I think that was it for legendaries. We have 3 more champions. Umbral Enchantress. She is a bit faster than Krisk. She has 1 immortal set, 1 accuracy, 1 speed. Total stats 51k HP, 3.8k defense, 255 speed, 212 resistance, 370 accuracy, 93 crit rate. One thing with this champion, the Head of Mischief on Nightmare is 250 speed. You want her to be faster, okay? Because she has block buffs debuff on a 3-turn cooldown for 3 turns. If the Head of Mischief manages to steal buffs from your team, like immunity or something, you get screwed over pretty often. So you gotta be very careful with that. If he has block buffs, he can steal buffs, but he's not gonna get them. He's not gonna spread them to the rest. So that's not gonna mess up your run. Masteries, PvE masteries. We have Spirit Haste, Master Hexer just to increase the duration if we can. Tier 6, War Master. Now, I have this locked. Never use this skill because this is gonna mess you over, but this is the creme de la creme out of all block buffs champions, okay? She doesn't really bring much to the table, but you don't need to use a stripper. You don't need to use anything else with her in the team. So that's why she is the best champion for it, guys. And moving over to the last 2 champions. We have a Husk right here, Relentless, and a crit damage set. 65k HP, 2k attack, 2.5k defense, 243 speed, lovely 99 crit rate, 249 crit damage. The thing with these champions, they are tankier than Royal Guard. So you can use more Husks instead. 2 Husks if you have. I've done it on a different takeover with 2 Husks, and I managed to 1-key it without a problem, but they weren't on Relentless either. I still need to do the key on my account, okay? So I'm having so much fun with the Hydra. Unbelievable. But Masteries on him. Tier 6 War Master, Cycle of Magic, and of course, unfortunately, no refresh accessories for him. And the Royal Guard is this one right here, Relentless and Speed set, 2 refresh accessories, total stats 44k HP, 2.2k defense, 3.1k attack, 222 speed, full crit rate, 262 crit damage. I know I said he dealt more damage than Husk because extra turns. I kind of forgot that he does hit harder with this skill, so that maybe made him reach a bit more damage than Husk every time he used it. That definitely added up by quite a bit. Master is the same thing with Husk, actually. Pretty similar. You want to have a Cycle of Magic. This doesn't really matter since I don't run him with accuracy, but a lot of you guys out there might need to run him with accuracy to keep that decreased speed on the heads, you know. But guys, that was all for this video. I do have a video with the data mine info on the stats, on the heads, speeds, resistance, accuracy. I'll be putting it up here, so you're gonna find it if you're gonna need to find out their stats, guys, okay? But that was all for this video. Much love, appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all soon in the next one. Peace.